So basically, like all the extraordinary stuff is like created by our mind only. So, so for example, like just like Sadhguru mentions that like if you have been hijacked by the hormones, isn't it? Yes. For
Yeah.
rest of the entire population, like that man or woman seems like a completely normal, isn't it? Yes, yeah. But for you, like it's like the he or she is the your world, isn't it? Your world. So she's everything or he's everything for you. So that is like the capacity of mind. Like there's nothing wrong about it. It's just that like the nature has ways to they use you. And even like if you have watched the satsang, like Sadhguru mentioned, isn't it? So 90% of your body is like not even like your genetic, like your parents' body, isn't it? So genetic material.
Yeah.
So 90% is just like a parasitic.
Okay, I didn't quite get that.
You didn't get it, is it? So, for example, like when we say like let's say all the spiritual traditions say that like even Krishna also says that you are not the body, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes.
But now even in that body also like a 90% is not your genetic material. They are all like the microorganisms. So which are not human in nature actually. So only 10% of your body is actually human.
All right.
So Kesavanna, namaskaram. Yes, Ujjalana, yeah, you were saying something.
How do you have any ways that I can use to like be in normal social life but still be aware and not get so involved in it?
So Anna, like you are like continuing with your like sadhana, like which practices you are doing so far?
I'm actually just doing Sambhavi right now, to be honest.
Yeah, Sambhavi is more than enough. Like if you want to like your requirement like so far like managing and everything, what you can do it is like again like don't take this as like the recommendation as the Isha teacher or anything. So like if you speak to like the Ishanga or like a Isha teacher, like even at the like whenever I was attending the Mahashivratri and everything, although I do like all the range of like a different range of practices and everything, spiritual practices, there are like people like who have been in the ashram like living among like brahmacharis and Sadguru also. So they know even better than me like how to bring the best out of the practices. Yes. So basically like the first way is basically doing your practices regularly. That is the very very important thing. And you think that like if it is not working, like you can do it twice a day. And if it is also not working, then like there is like Sadhguru always mentioned to use like a crash course, isn't it? Yes. So you can make use of that one. Again, like don't take this as a recommendation. I'm just like using this. And another aspect, like even if you think that like okay, it's not working enough and everything, see like what actually happens is as you progress spiritually or something, there are two aspects in it. I think like everybody has watched the Matrix movies, and yes, yeah. So the red pill and blue pill. Okay, so basically like how it works is red pill is basically the reality as it is. Okay, yeah. Blue pill basically means like you are just living in your mind. Okay, so basically like you are just projecting. For example, like I always used to ask people like whenever they come have a discussion with me or something like that, if you want to learn more or something, I always ask them to like what do you see when you look into the mirror? Okay, so you go in front of the mirror, you sit in front of the mirror, and you look into the mirror and then just answer like what do you see? Okay, so what do you see, Ujjalana, when you look into the mirror?
Insecurities maybe, Anna.
Okay, so like this will be the homework possibly next time, or like you can send me the message answer also, yeah, in the messenger afterwards. This is a part of what you need to do. But like if you think like insecurities are happening and everything, that is only because of again, like I said, like I'm not want to go into the blue pill and red pill stuff or something like that. But like what you are still living in your mind and everything, because you don't actually have the clarity about the life. Okay, so and that is what it is. So what actually spiritual process is basically is, you reach to the point where you have the clarity of like what all this is all about. Okay, now like people are scared. Okay, now people are so much scared and everything, because like what they think is like what will happen if, okay, let's say I have all these spiritual experiences now, whatever I've done, like people I love, my parents, families, like what is going to happen to them or something like that. People will get scared. Yes, yeah, that is one of the biggest reason like people avoid spirituality. But once you know that like there is a possibility, this is the only way out, because the insecurity what you are referring to is basically means, just like Sadhguru mentioned, that you are unable to control your mind, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And you are trying to control the mind, and that is a self-defeating process, because you can never control the mind. Okay. because the first clarity what you need to understand is, just like Sadhguru mentioned, that your mind is a survival tool. Correct? Yeah. So if you are a doctor, let's say if you are a doctor and you need to go to the surgeon, and you have this like the surgeon knife, isn't it? So if you know how to handle that properly, then you will perform the surgery properly. But if you do not know how to handle it, what will happen? Accident will happen, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So same thing is happening with the mind also, because you are trying to fight with your mind. Okay, I know this is initially it will happen if you sustain your sadhana, and basically just like Sadhguru says that like now once you are in the sadhana, like your spiritual progress will accelerate. Okay, so whatever used to happen within 1 year, 2 year, 3 year time period, it will actually tend to happen more faster, because what is going to happen is like it wants to like clean up everything as quickly as possible. So if you want to go further, like you need to attend the Bhavaspandana program. Okay, so that is must if you want to like if you really want to because see like I mentioned earlier that like the mind can never be controlled. Okay, whoever says that okay you can control the mind or something, like you cannot control it, because see like this is like if you are a programmer or something like that, many people might know this. So it's just like it's like a the recursive function. Okay, so I don't want to go into technicality or into that one, but here like what is going to happen is, if you want to control the mind, how you are going to control the mind is basically by using the mind again, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you use the mind to control the mind itself? It's impossible.
Yes, and
So there are two ways to it. One way is like the way of the Kriya Yoga, and the another way is the path of the awareness. Okay, and that is where like if you look into the Isha program, like it handles both. Like one is called the path of the Prajna, which is the Buddhist way, the path of the awareness, and another way is the way of the Samadhi. Okay, so Prajna and Samadhi. So Samadhi is the way like where like you increase the voltage. Sadhguru uses this word himself. Okay, so for example, like you have a room. Okay, you have a room. It's a dark room. So you turn on the bulb. The bulb like there's a dim light. Okay, dim voltage. There's not much of a current or power over there. So like you cannot see everything clearly. But if you just like crank up the voltage, what is going to happen? The light will become more brighter, isn't it? So you will be able to see everything. So basically like the way of the awareness and then the way of the prajna and everything, these are like you can look into the karma book also. It's given a lot of them. Like have you purchased the karma book?
yes, and but I haven't gone fully through it.
Yeah, you need to go through it. Okay, so it actually like a karma book is like a crazy. Like if you are like a Kriya Yogi, if you have done all the advanced practices or something like that, then like you will actually know that like how it actually works. Like the entire mechanics is laid out by Sadhguru over there. So how certain kind of practices work, like what is actually influencing what. So basically like if you what you need to do it is like you need to see like most of the people have this question like initially and everything, and if you really want to give into your practices and like if you want to progress and you want to feel high and everything, that is one of the way. So in that case, like what you need to do it is like just Sadhguru has mentioned is, you need to have certain kind of offering. Okay, whenever you are doing sadhana, you should not expect anything from it. Okay, because you are going into the dimension like which is beyond time and space. So when you are going into beyond the time and space, the only thing what you can do it is two things. One is like no expectation. Another way is the reverence or the offering. So you do sadhana for Sadguru, because I'll tell you this whole secret of spiritual process. Okay, I'll also tell you like how I used to think about it is because like when I was growing up and everything was, I used to taste everything. Okay, like if you are a religious, you go to the temple and you ask for something, then that should work, isn't it? Yes, yeah. That is the simple mathematics. Okay, but it does not work. Okay, that basically means like either the process is wrong or like I'm doing something wrong. These are the only two possibilities. Yes, yeah. So what actually happened is like after a while, like I started doing practices, meditation and everything, and then for 7-8 years, and then like I got like a certain kind of experiences, and like even I went to Tiruvannamalai. I've like shared in many posts also. So I had like powerful explosive experiences, but like even though like I knew that like the experience I was happening over there, although like I had this experience only when I went over there, I still didn't have the clarity. Okay, it's just like 99.99% of the people are becoming happy and sad accidentally. Yes, correct. Yeah, yes or no? Even they are becoming successful and failure also accidentally. Yes, yeah. They don't even know like how to become successful, because everybody will tell you that if you work very hard you will become successful. Have you ever seen a farmer becoming successful? No, isn't it? So that entire thing is wrong. The approach is wrong. That's why Sadhguru always mentioned that you don't become successful by working hard or forcing yourself. You only become successful by what? By doing the things that works. Makes sense? So like that approach is wrong. But like even why I'm telling you this is because like when I was also doing sadhana, when I was doing initiated into Shambhavi, it exploded crazy. Okay, and then but in the back of my head, because like I had these like many years of spiritual practices and some of the on and off experiences in the past also, I thought that when I was doing the practices, I thought that like I was making it happen. Okay, this is the ego of everyone. Okay, people will say that in the relationship, they will say that I'm making you happy, I'm doing everything for you, isn't it? All the parents will say this, isn't it, to their children is I'm working so hard for you and everything and all this kind of stuff. People will say all this, right? So I had this like idea that like it was the practice that I was doing was making it happen. But the spiritual initiation through Guru is completely different, because like there are a lot of mechanics into that one. Like it might take a lot of time. I already mentioned in all the other previous discussions also. So basically like if you want to see the reality as it is, then you need a lot of spiritual energy, okay, which is non-physical in nature, which is known as the ojas. Okay, so basically like whatever food we eat and everything, and because like if you are unaware, most of the people are completely unaware and everything. I think like most of the people do not know also, like even though they have attended this these kind of discussions in the past also. So what actually happens is just like when we are born, before we are born or something like that, if you see the umbilical cord from your like the navel is connected with your like mother, isn't it? Yes, yeah. So that is how you are surviving. Same way, the moment your umbilical cord is like the cut off, you are actually surviving in connection with something known as the cosmical energy, or like akash, or whatever you want to say. Okay, even beyond that one. So basically like we are not alive because of the oxygen exchange. Okay, we are not alive because of the air. In the air is one aspect of it, but at the same time we are connected because the prana exchange happening. Okay, so the prana is connected, just like your the navel is connected with your mother before you are born. Same way you are connected with the the universal pranic system, okay, cosmical energy. So basically what actually happens is like that connection is there. Now what actually happens is like whenever you are eating a food or something like that, yeah, eating a food or something like that, you can actually generate the prana also. You can increase the prana. Now most of the people are so unconscious that uh, they are eating like all this like the negative pranic food, which is known as the tamasic food or rajasic food or something, which is actually depleting the prana. And that is how like you don't have enough energy in your system, okay, even through food only. And that is where like the anxiety, depression, like the mood swings, and like the bad feeling, all these kind of things happens, because like there's not enough energy in the system. So what actually happens is like if you want to, the main objective of the spiritual process, just like Sadhguru mentioned, is there are two ways to approach this. One way is the hardcore way. Hardcore way is basically means you are digging up your karma and like destroying all of that on your own. That is the fastest way. But most of the people cannot do it. They can actually get lost into that one. They don't have enough determination and enough perseverance and discipline. So because of that reason, like Sadhguru gives you the easiest way. That is basically the transcendence. Okay. Transcendence basically means you are just skipping the karma. Okay. You are bypassing it. Okay. So like just like Kritika was saying, like more like a shortcut kind of stuff. Okay. So that is where like rather than you are trying to handle stuff, you just create a distance with yourself. For example, like if you are doing certain kind of meditation practices, like whatever you are doing or something, you can actually clearly see the distance between you and your mind and you and your body. Okay, that is possible, 100% possible. Like if you are not doing it, then you need to add a little bit of reverence and everything. This is why like I'm coming into this one. So basically what actually happens is you need to have enough energy in the system, and it is not prana. Just by having a prana, it's not going to work. Even if you eat like a lot of vegan food or something, you might have a lot of prana, but you still don't have this perception of something known as the beyond. Okay, so basically like what actually happens is like there are 3 stages in Ayurveda, but in yoga like we only speak about prana and ojas. So the intermediary state is called tejas. Okay, so tejas is the intermediary state. So basically like the entire process of the kriya yoga is like whatever name ends with the kriya is basically so the prana is in your system. That is the biological energy. Okay, bioenergy is there. So like that energy is there, like now that has to be, we transform that with the help of the prana, with the breathing techniques and everything, because you cannot directly access the prana directly. So just by like regulating your breath and different kind of breathing practices or something, then you like intensify the energy, and then like convert all the physical energy into the non-physical energy dimension of energy, that is known as the ojas. So if you have enough ojas, for example, if you have initiated into Shambhavi, like not the Shambhavi, like into the Sakti Chalana Kriya and everything, just like in the full moon flirtation also, Sadhguru mentions a lot about that one, then you can actually generate a mountain of ojas. Okay, and that is one of the reasons like when you have built like enough ojas in your system or something like that, then you can go to the another dimension very easily. Okay, and that is where like you have bypassed whatever is happening in your mind and body. Okay, so it cannot touch you over there. So why I'm telling you this is because even if you are doing Shambhavi, now like if you are doing on your own, let's say like why I actually created all this background is basically it was the mistake I did also. Although I had like a certain kind of experiences with that one and everything, profound experiences, I made a lot of mistakes, and then like after several months of practices and like attending the advanced programs and everything, it actually gave me a clarity. Okay, so why I'm telling you this is like if you are trying to create experience by on your own, if you want to go on your own or something, the first thing is you are making first mistake. You are using your own mind to control your own mind. That is not possible. It's it's like just like you ask a question yourself and you answer yourself. Okay, yeah. The moment you understand.
What can I do to?
Pardon?
What can I do to like get free from that process while I'm in the middle of that? While in the middle of that, yes, okay.
I think Sadhguru says this for body also, right? Like there's things happening in the body, but you
Yeah.
don't try to stop it. It doesn't distract you.
Yeah, correct.
Why
Yeah.
But
Just
the
put it
mind is
aside.
doing. The mind is also doing its natural biological processes in the body. Why is it disturbing you? I mean, this struck me. Until then, I had questions of how can I control, how can I not control. But when Sadhguru said you don't stop your body from working, why do you want to stop your mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Akka, like as the spot on. That's the main reason. You understood on that actually that what she Akka said.
Yes, and somehow.
So just like no, it's just like this. Just like in your body, like there are many parallel processes happening, isn't it? Yes. The lungs are functioning, your liver is functioning, kidneys are functioning. Just like that, your thought process is also that. The only problem with the thought process is it's compulsive. Yeah. So it's not, and it is actually the best thing because at the moment you don't have access to how your heart is going to function, how your liver is going to function, isn't it? Do you have access to that one? You don't have, isn't it? Because if you had that access, see, I'll tell you the funny thing. Let's say you have 100% access to everything. Let's say, okay, tomorrow something bad happened to you, and the moment I wish I could die this moment. And you'll just die. You'll just die. Okay? This is mind is a survival mechanism. So it has a fail-safe system of its own. So one of the thing if you do not understand how to do it, the one thing is just keep up your sadhana. But in the sadhana, what you need to do is you need to have certain kind of reverence, and you do not expect anything. And why I created all this background is because even though that, let's say somebody told you it's another process or something, but it is still there, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. It's just like a mind trick, okay? But it's still how to go about it is, that's why I was creating all this background coming to this one is because you don't have enough energy in the system. So basically, if you want to do it on your own, basically means how much energy you have. For example, let's say you want to escape the the let's say the earth, isn't it? Yes, just like a rocket. If you want to, so how much energy do you have? If you have very less energy, you don't even move, isn't it? Correct? Yeah. So why the reverence and the non-expectation is actually required is because you cannot do it on your own. That is why the initiation. That's why even people who have never done in meditation in their entire life, they come to inner engineering and they just explore. They have profound experiences, even though they have never done meditation in the past, because they have certain kind of the openness and the reverence. So the main objective is to revere and something like that, so that the guru can access. This is the main important thing. So the guru can have access to you. Because when you are initiated, it's not your spiritual process. And this is the biggest mistake I also did in the past, because I thought that just by doing all these practices, I was making it happen. Okay. This is a false. This is a false thing. Okay? We can actually create the ambience and make ourselves available. And the more you are available, the more you'll get. And just like Sadhguru says that if you get it just by inner engineering, you don't need other practices. You don't need any of that. But we all have a lot of karmas, and we love new things, isn't it? So and somebody else is doing, so I also need to do it, and all that kind of stuff. So just like Sadhguru says that if you just want to live a fairly good life, and then even if you want this to be your final life and everything, then Shambhavi is more than enough. But if you want to explore the other dimensions, and you don't only want to become the self-realized and the escape the cycle, but you also want to become the yantra yourself, and then transform other people, then you need to follow the path of the rigorous path of grinding process of Kriya Yoga. So that is what it's all about.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Kesavanna is, I think, still there, Kesavanna?
Yeah, no, I'm mesmerized.
Yeah, I've not heard about you actually.
Yeah, I'm just listening. Yeah, it's also opening same. Even I also have the same kind of doubts.
Yeah.
It also answers me. So
Yes.
I'm just keeping myself shut.
So both things are required. Like one thing is like you need to have a clarity that like just like Kritika Akka said that it's one of the another process. I'll give you like a even better analogy. It might work. So you should think like your mind like your like a flatmate. Okay. So
Flatmate.
yeah, flatmate. Yeah. So if you are sharing a flat with your flatmate, the flatmate might be doing all kind of like stuff, isn't it? Yes, yeah. That you like, you do not like, or something. But only when do you go to your flatmate? Only when you need him, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah.
So let him do whatever he wants. Yes or no? Yeah. So.
Yes.
But
No, I get it.
yeah, but just by doing this trick is not going to be sustainable without having enough energy in your system. So I'll tell you the secret behind like the Shambhavi, how it works. Like Sadhguru has already mentioned, that's why I'm telling this, because most of the people may bypass it or they may not understand or like skip it. So what Sadhguru actually says is like when we are doing the Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya or like any of the spiritual practices or something, see like you have got like 5 bodies, okay, koshas and everything. I think like everybody is aware of this by now, okay. It may not be look like jargon. So the first we start with the Annamaya Kosha, which is the food body, the gross body, which is known as the Sthula Sarira also, and then comes the like the Suchma Sharira, which is actually consists of like 3 bodies, which is the Monomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and Vijnanamaya Kosha, and then the final one is the your like a bliss body or the Anandamaya Kosha or the Karana Sarira. So the Karana Sharira actually contains all the karma, your Sanchita karma and everything. And that is why like it is also known as the Karana Sharira. Okay? Karana basically means cause, okay? Causal body, which is going to cause whatever is happening. So basically like all the karma and everything is where it is actually in the like a Karana Sharira. Okay? And at the moment like your Prarabdha is where? Your Prarabdha is in your physical body and your like a mental body. Yes? Yeah? So basically what actually happens is when you raise off all your energies and everything, what is going to happen is like your pranamaya kosha actually becomes more intense. Okay, so when it becomes more intense, then like you don't have your mind and body does not actually have are not actually influenced by your like a karma, okay, which is actually on the other side. And even like a Sadhguru also mentions that the initiation actually happens as the Vijnanamaya Kosha also. So that like even if you want to mess with it, like you cannot do it. Yeah. Yes, Kesavana, you're saying something.
Yeah, I have a question. See, I have done all these advanced practices.
Correct.
I'm doing how much ever,
Yeah.
honestly, I can.
Yeah.
But even then, what I feel these days, especially from the September onwards, whenever I want, I'll take shower also, I'll do everything and get ready to sit, and something else will come. Either it will come with the work, or somebody will tell you go and get that. I'll go and avoid coming back. I can't do that. Otherwise, I get hungry. Some genuine thing. Okay, it's not that
Yeah.
some really urgent and genuine things comes up. Stops me from doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Is it? Does it happen, or am I?
Do you do it at the same time every day, Anna? Like you have a particular time for sadhana? Or you just do it like every day on the everyday basis, you find a time and you do it?
Normally, yeah. No. I want to start early, but when I start everything, then some housemaid will come and I'll start helping. and then somebody will ring the bell and I'll just go and do that. Like that, it keeps on going, and by the time when I settle down, it will be like 9:30, 10. And from there until 11 o'clock, I'll do that. Okay, normally this is my time. Even though I try to from 6:30, it will happen only at 9:30. So I don't know where am I going well, sir.
No.
I was.
Yeah, Kritika, you can answer. Yeah.
I was like this. I didn't do advanced programs when I started calls with Ramana, like listening to him. And at that time, I was also like, I could not do the practices exactly at times, and something was coming up. And then he introduced Brahma Muhurtam time. Like, nobody can disturb you at 3:40 a.m. I don't know, that worked for me. I'm just sharing.
Oh, yeah, but the problem with me is my sleeping time is not fixed.
Yeah. I think if you fix a time, like strictly, and then it would just fall into place.
Yeah, I try to do that. But otherwise, like, nobody has any of this experiences. Like, you want to do something comes up. Is it natural or is it real or is it imaginary?
So this is basically something known as the collective karma. Anna. So if you're, let's say, like if like see, like I use this terminology, something known as the making your survival process an elephant. Okay. So basically what actually happens is, like most of the people in the world, they have actually made their the survival process very sophisticated. Yeah. So what actually happens is, like you got society, you got friends, families, children, work, exercise, everything, all this kind of stuff, including sadhana also. Okay, if you include all the things what you do and everything. So basically what actually happens is, like if you have too many things to do, then like you will not have time to do anything that is actually means something to you. It's going to be very, very difficult to create time for that one. So now, like why I'm telling this is, like there is something known as the individual karma. This is known something as the like a collective karma. So you are like influenced more by the collective karma at the moment. Why I'm telling this is because, let's say, like you have simplified your life, even if your life is not elephant. Okay, so you have a passive income, you have your own business, like you work on your own terms and conditions, or you got a lot of wealth with you. So if you go and sit down and meditate and everything, now your mind will start saying something. Okay, I need to do something important, and you wake up and do something like that. So that is something known as your individual karma, because that is not getting used up. And just like Kritika mentioned, that like why it is so important for you to do all your sadhana in the morning is because, just like we have got I'll dig a little bit deeper into the karma stuff and everything. Just like we have the prarabdha, I think like everybody have already known about the prarabdha so far, which is known as the allotted karma for this lifetime. Similar to that one, there is the allotted karma for each day also. Okay, so basically like why we do all the sadhanas in the morning is because we want to try to finish up all the karmas that was allocated for our body and like a mind and everything as quickly as possible in the morning, so that like the rest of the day, like we are working with very less karma. Because there are, just like we mentioned earlier also, that one way is like just to bypass the karma. Okay, and another one is basically to handle the karma. For example, like a physical karma, you cannot avoid it. Okay, because like the body is like inherited from the earth, just like Sadhguru has mentioned that the body is inherited from the earth, and like the genetic material, other karma is actually coming from our parents also. Okay, so the body, like even though like you want to lie down, like the body wants to wake up. If you want to lie down, like if you want to stand up, your body wants to lie down and everything. Yes, so these are the individual karma, okay, which has to be like dealt with like a certain kind of processes. But when it comes to the collective karma and everything, this is where like a lot of management has to be required. But like if it happens like once in a while or something like that, you cannot avoid it. It's just like you went and then there's electricity failure or something like that. These are rare occurrences. But like if it is happening day in and day out, then like you need to create the constructive way. Possibly what you can do it is like you can do your main practices together, like in sequence without breaking a break or something like that. Again, like don't take this as like the official Isha advice or something.
You just
yeah. Yeah, and like whenever you have time for the other things, like you can create a time and then do the the other practices. Yeah, for example, like hatha yoga and everything, it is always best, like as recommended, that do before the more subtle practices. But like the subtle practices are the most important ones. Yeah, always, because
Yeah,
yeah.
I normally start with Surya Kriya,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Shakti Chandra Kriya, and then the Shaman. This is my usual routine.
Yeah, that's great, Anna. Yeah, that is actually very good.
Only these three things only I do, not much.
Okay, you are not doing like Upa yoga?
Yoga, no, honestly.
You do Upa yoga first, Anna. That's good actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you do that one. That's not going to take too much of time. Yeah, you need to do Upa yoga every day. That is very, very important. That is very, 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 very. Yeah. But whatever practices you are doing, these are like a very powerful processes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But don't worry about these kind of things. One of the thing, like even like I get entangled into that one is because like I was doing like a so much good yesterday. Like let's say like you did a lot of practices yesterday, and then today because of some reason it didn't happen. We tend to like compare with yesterday's practices, and so or day before yesterday practice or something.
Yeah, I'm not comparing as such.
Yeah, yeah,
But what happens is mostly whenever they see, for example, if somebody says, go and get me milk in
yeah.
the morning, I know even though they can go and get it, but I will also, sometimes I shout and sometimes.
No. This is a collective karma, Anna. Like just like I said, like when there is another person involved, there is a collective karma. So like the main important thing, like again, like this is not the regarding spirituality. This is more about like the management, organization. Yeah. So you put out like let's say what you can do it is just like rather than milk or something like that. What you can do it is you fix up your time. Yes. Yeah. Okay, milk. Just rather than like somebody else to bring it or something, you make a list and you go and like finish that chore yourself.
Correct.
And you sit for the meditation. I think like that will be best rather than expecting like a will go. Yeah.
I need to plan around. Yeah. That helps me.
Yeah.
So I need to plan for tomorrow or today itself.
Yes, correct. Now. Yeah. Just tell them beforehand. Then like I'm going to bring it and leave it there. I know. Like, or the another thing is like you can initiate, like you can ask your family members also to get initiated so that they can understand like how important it is for you.
No, they are also. I mean, my wife is also initiated, but she
Oh my God.
did, only like 40 days, and after that she didn't practice much.
Okay.
Yeah, that is one side.
Yeah.
But the other side is I always like tend to feel okay, I can do my sadhana, but others is depending on me. Let me finish this for them, and I can sit like that. So this is my all the time. This is what I end up in doing.
Mm.
I mean, I could have become hard or harsh or tell them, no, you do whatever you want, but I am not going to do that. And I do stick to this thing. But that is not happening with me. Once or twice I tell that, but normally then I will only melt. So
Yeah.
this is where the problem is.
Yeah, I know.
The
Yeah.
more I melt, the more dependency on me. So
See, and like, are you ready for like a certain kind of like the hardcore stuff regarding this relationship and
certain kind of what?
hardcore stuff.
Uh,
Hardcore.
stuff in the sense
Hardcore. So this can be yeah. Yeah, whatever.
hard. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, so basically, like whatever I'm about to say might sound like a very cold or something like that, but before we try to try to understand or whatever it is to do or deal with it, like the clarity is the most important aspect. Just like Sadhguru says that like people come together because of certain needs. Yes, correct. Yeah, because of certain needs, social need, financial need, all kind of physical needs, emotional needs or something like that. So people come together. Now once they come together, like they have certain kind of expectation from the another person. But that is not it, because people are evolved to have certain kind of power struggle. Okay, if you have 5 people, these 5 people will become like a 2 groups, and like they will have a power struggle. If there are 100 people, they will form like a 2, 3, 4 groups and then have a power struggle. Even if you have only 2 people, they will still have power struggle. And not only that, even if you didn't have any family, you're just sitting alone over there, just like Ujjwal Anna was saying, he is still having a power struggle with his mind. Okay. So
Correct. True.
so basically like there is a power struggle. So like the only thing is like the first thing we need to understand is that there is a power struggle. Yeah, we need to accept that one. Yeah. Now what you need to understand is like you need to have a clarity. For example, this is the biggest mistake I did in the past. I'm not going to make it like a story long. I'll just give you one thing. When I started doing Buddhist meditation and everything, I was feeling so good and everything nice. Okay, everything calm and doing well. The biggest mistake I made was I was trying to make other people also happy. Makes sense? Huh? And this is the biggest lie that has been sold in the society, that you can make someone happy. You can never make someone happy. Okay, you can never make someone happy because
Really.
has someone been able to make you happy? Tell me the answer. No, if nobody can make me happy, how can I make somebody else happy? Isn't it? Yes, yeah. So it's the vice versa stuff.
One saying others could not make you happy. I'm really curious.
Yeah, yeah. If
Others can make you happy, right? Really?
yeah, nobody can make you happy, isn't it? For example, see like in a college, okay, for a man, like it can be a very rare situation, but let's say a very beautiful girl in a class or your college will come and say I love you. You melt it, wow, and then you become happy. But let's say there is another girl, her friend, okay, see, from your point of view, like she is not that attractive, let's say, from your perspective. Now she came with all the gifts and everything and wants to say that, oh, not Kesavan. Kesav Garu, okay, I don't know like how it says in Kannada, but like the
It is same.
Garu, okay. So like they will come and then say that like okay, like a gift the gifts, and then I love you so much, I can do anything for you. But like will you become happy? Like you will try to avoid her, isn't it? Yes or no? Yeah? Yes. So she tried all her best,
Yeah.
but like she cannot make you happy. It's the same thing.
Correct. Correct.
Because that's what is shown in Indian movies constantly, right?
And-
From childhood.
You have been programmed.
Yeah.
So actually, you are saying that
And-
it is myself. I am deciding to be happy or not.
Yeah.
I think when you set expectations for yourself, that this, say suppose ice cream is going to make you happy and you want an ice cream.
No.
Somebody gives you an ice cream, I think you assume that okay, this person made me happy, but it's not that person who made you happy.
No, see like this
Because
this
you
yeah.
had an expectation of
Yeah, this
something you wanted.
this is actually like far more sophisticated than this is. I just like made you more easier. I'll tell you like how to go about it. Okay, the first thing you need to understand is you can never make anybody in the world happy. That is the first thing. And the second thing is nobody can make you happy because it's the proven thing. Yes, correct. Yeah. Now, what is actually now like if it is so, then like why should I try? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah. That can also be the task. Yeah. Now what is going to happen is now like if you see that nobody can make you happy or like somebody can happy, then like what Sadhguru has mentioned is one of the thing is if everybody is sick in Bangalore, let's say like everybody should not get COVID, but let's say like a large group of people got sick, then like is it important that like you are not sick? Yes or no? Yes, correct. Yeah.
True.
So the main thing is if everybody is not happy, then the first thing is at least you need to be happy. Makes sense? Yeah? So now the thing is like at the moment what is actually happening is like this is the entire thing about inner engineering actually. Okay. So basically what actually happening at the moment is rather than I'm actually like trying to change the situation outside to make myself happy. Yes. Yeah. But people will always change, and like they can do anything. And like I will tell you like a crazy thing, more hardcore stuff. Okay, woman. Okay, Kritika is also here. Like she knows the secret. Also, will also know this secret, even though she knows or not, because women are intuitive. But like I know how like a male mind and woman mind works and everything. Woman will taste a man their entire life. Okay.
Some cooker pressure came. I think I lost you.
Yeah. So
What did you say again?
so a woman will taste her man entire life. Makes sense? Huh?
Test.
Yeah, taste. Yeah. See.
Women test her man.
Taste?
Yeah, taste. Yeah, taste.
I
Yeah,
get
taste. Yeah, taste. Yeah, taste.
Okay.
See, like people think that like in the movies they will show, yeah. So you fought a bad guy and then like you happily ever after and everything. Yeah? So so you just pass the you just pass the first test. That's it. So that's why you must have seen in your family also, like your mother is always testing your father, isn't it? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your father might be a very rich person outside or powerful person or something outside in the society. At home, like she's being tested because she's not doing like logically. Okay, she's doing this intuitively. This is a survival process because like genetically, if a man is not always evolving, he cannot actually take care of like his family. Okay, for example, like if Keshavanna is not like a shaked in the morning every day, you will not go and get the milk for his child, isn't it? Yes. now we'll not go into this one because like this is a entire like subject by itself. It will take like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 meetings like this, and it will not be even over. Okay, but what people say like you cannot like understand women, like they are saying wrong because like the main thing is like they have not observed. Okay, for example, like if let's say like let's say like a Kohli is batting, okay, in a cricket match. Okay, yeah, yes. Now Kohli is facing the ball, but can Kohli assess his game better, or all the people sitting in the stadium or sitting in their living room can assess the game better?
I think Kohli can assess better.
No, Kohli can play ball by ball, but rest of the people can actually see like he should have done this way, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Yeah.
Better view.
Yeah. So the same thing happens with your relationship, your spiritual process, your body, everything, your money, your work, your family, everything. At the moment, you got entangled, not involved. That is what Sadhguru was mentioning. Okay? Involvement and entanglement are completely different. So when you got too much entangled, that basically means you want to change the situation. Okay, and like we mentioned earlier, that even when you cannot control your own mind, how can you control the external situation, isn't it? Yes, yeah. And there is a power struggle happening everywhere. Okay, so how to approach this is basically like you cannot change the another person. Again, like I said, like if you cannot make another person happy, now what is you need to do it is you need to make yourself happy so that after a while like you overflow. Makes sense, huh? When you overflow, for example, like Sadhguru is overflowing. That's why what Sadhguru said is one of the video is it's very like a profound and everything. If you get it, like you got it. So what he said is like don't go to fix the world. Okay, don't go and like even though you see the world outside like in misery or something, you might want to go and change and everything. Don't go without just because to fix it, because if you want to go and try to fix it, like you will get ruined yourself also. Okay, but if you in your experience if you have expanded yourself, and like made everything inclusive to yourself, yes, then there's no issue. And this is only have possible if you are a Kriya Yogi. Even the Karma Yogi cannot do this. It's nearly impossible.
But Anna,
Yeah.
these things,
Yeah.
see, I think I have started doing it from 2017.
Correct.
18.
Yeah.
rather.
Yes, Anna.
So 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this first 3 years, I was very intense.
Yeah.
Okay. And whatever was saying, like inclusiveness was
Correct.
also
Correct.
in my experience.
Correct.
It was not a theory anymore,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. But what happened because of this, especially I said no, but whenever I lose the continuity of the practice,
Mhm.
I will fall out from that.
Mhm.
I mean, like, it will be like only my understanding, but it will not be in my experience.
Mhm.
Okay, so this will happen if I discontinue my practice. Okay,
Yeah. So
and one more. Sorry.
yes,
sorry,
you
before I-
you
and
you
one
you
more,
you continue. You continue, Anna.
Yeah, yeah, and as you say, when I become the like fountain of joy or something,
Correct.
I
Yeah.
myself.
Yes.
Okay, and others also starts feeling that.
Yeah.
And others it's kind of others start more dependence on you, actually, because they find you inevitable or irresistible or whatever, right? So they always want you with them. They want always your suggestion. They want your company. They want you to do everything. It becomes like this is also I saw that. So how do we handle this?
I think this is more like a relationship question.
Sorry, what?
Relationship the advisor. so yeah.
This has happened because I was earlier.
I got a question, Anna. I'll give you two answers. Okay, the first answer is basically, for example, you're going back, it is no longer like that and everything. Yeah, for example, inclusive everything experience. See what Sadhguru has mentioned is most of the people what they think is have you read a book called The Mastery by George Leonard? Yeah, you need to read that book. Everybody should read that book. You can finish that in maybe less than 2 hours. Okay, that George Leonard called Mastery. I have actually recommended many people. So basically, what actually happens is people actually thinks is, for example, if you do certain thing, let's say you do certain thing linearly, then they think that the output will also go linearly. Make sense? Yeah? For example, you work for 10 hours, you made 10,000. You made work for 20 hours, you got 30,000, and you work for 40 hours, then it will become 70, 80,000 or something. Yeah, but does it work like that way? No, isn't it? Yes, there's a saturation level or something. So same thing happens with everything. There's a plateau somewhere. When you reach the threshold, it becomes more difficult for you. You will get stuck there for a certain period. You need to intensify, and then it will break the threshold. Okay, that is where people call the explosive states and everything, isn't it? Yes, yeah. So you explode, and then you drain out of energy, and then you need to regroup, and then regenerate energy, and then progress. Okay, so there are always certain kind of thresholds. Okay, so for example, it's let me give you a simple example. To pass the high school till 10, you have to build up one way. Okay, from 11 and 12 another way, and then bachelor certain way, 4 years or something. Same way, I'm just giving you the analogy. Till that 10 years, you cannot go anywhere, isn't it? Yes, yeah. So you break that threshold, you reach to the next level. That is one way of looking at it. So you need to sustain that one. And another thing is the sadhanas, just like Sadhguru has mentioned, out of all the sadhanas, only Bhuta Suddhi practice is a permanent. Okay, all the other practices will roll back by itself. If you don't do for 6 months or 1 year or something, then you are back to zero. Okay, so and why this is because Anna, do you eat food every day? same thing. Same thing. Yeah? So food is also maintenance, isn't it? Yes, yeah. So the sadhana is also maintenance, because based on the karma and thing, the body will also, mind will also build up certain kind of friction. Yes. So when you do the sadhana and everything, just like Sadhguru says, the sadhana works as a lubrication. Okay, so that it can go more smoothly. Now coming back into the relationship or something like that. See, we mentioned earlier, that you cannot make anybody happy. First thing. Okay, that is first thing we need to establish. Now once you know everybody's now like you might think, okay, then like I should not be doing anything, I should not care or something. It does not work that way, because like it will actually become like a more hell, isn't it? Yes, yeah, it will become pathetic. So now like since like you need to maintain and then like make it better. Now the first thing you need to be clear about the first thing. What do I want from my life? You need to be clear. Okay, is it the spiritual practice, enlightenment? Is it that one? Now like enlightenment can be achieved in many different ways, just like Sadhguru has given you like traditionally like there are 5 ways, but like 4 ways we are giving there. Yeah, so like using your body, karma yoga, kriya yoga, bhakti yoga, and gnana yoga. Yes, yeah. Now you have to use that way based on the goal you have set. For example, now like you might be thinking, okay, I want to go alone. Then your life will be simplified and everything, but the limitation is like the society and family will fall off very easily. Yes, yeah, that is going to fall off. Now like now you have already in the family. Now people are depending on you, and this is not the liability. This is actually the privilege. Yes or no? Yes, yeah. For example, like when you have a child, you the best kind of experiences what you got was when your child was born. Yes or no? Yes, yeah, yes. And the best experience what you had from your wife was when you got first like maybe like how you married. I do not know whether it's arranged marriage or love marriage or something. But whenever you saw her, like let's say after like let's say like 5-6 months, like you are unable to see him or her, and then like you meet them, you feel like you are on cloud 9, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes, yeah. So the thing is like the at the moment whatever experiences you are having, it's actually the compulsive way, because whatever you feel, for example, like this is again hardcore, okay, very hardcore stuff. So for example, why you feel so good when you are looking into the child or like your wife or something, because they sustain the survival of the body. Yes, yeah, because if you identify yourself as a body, the only way you are going to go beyond your death is through the reproduction. Yes, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the only way the body knows how to become immortal. It doesn't know any other way. So again, like putting this all aside and everything, I don't want to make it like a to crash and everything. Like after a while, okay, like why I'm listening to this. But now like how to manage this. Now the first thing what you need to do is sadhana is in your hands. We are lucky. We are living in the time of Isha and Sadhguru, and this is a golden period for the entire humanity, and we are in the frontier. Okay, we are already initiated. We have been doing practices. Practices has to be there, but at the same time, now we need to think that people who you have got like a deep karmic relationship. I'm saying like a karmic relationship. Why? Because there are many relationship people have. Yeah, even you have relationship with your shopkeeper, even work also, isn't it? Yes, yeah. But the karmic relationship is very like a loose with them. Okay, yeah. Even if it breaks, it doesn't matter too much. And this is what we known as the Runanubandha. Okay, Runanubandha basically means you are meeting everyone, including me and like everybody in this call. We are meeting these people because we have met them even in the past also. Otherwise, people will not meet. There is something we have to take from someone, and we have something to give to someone. Makes sense? Huh? Now that is why, like Sadhguru says, don't avoid life, because the moment you avoid life and everything, you are not using up that karma. Okay, it is just stacking up. So our task is to burn it up. Now it's a great privilege that like some lives are dependent on you. Yes, they are dependent on you. Now just like Sadhguru says that what you do is not important, how you do it is important. Yes, yeah. And if you take it as an offering, then it becomes beautiful. I know that like from my perspective, third person point of view, like it sounds great, like sounds like so simple and everything. But like once like the drama of like family and everything starts and everything, like it's more about like a power struggle always. Okay, yeah, who's going to control more or something like that. And that is where like it's a part of the game. That's why like Sadhguru also mentions that like without a fire, like the family cannot stick together. Okay, it is what it is keeping it going, isn't it? For example, let's say like why you loved Ramayana, why? It has all these like good sequences, bad sequences, and finally had a like a good ending, isn't it? Yes, yeah. Even like it didn't have a good ending also. Okay. But why? But why? Like we all take it is because like it was a beautiful story, isn't it? Yes, yeah. For example, let's say like I'll bring you one is sweet, one is you like sweet, yeah. So one is sweet, you eat. What is going to happen? You will not like it, isn't it? So you need little bit of masala, you need little bit of salt, you need little bit of like sambar, yeah. So they are the sambar of your life. So what you need to understand is now since I'll give you like a personal prescription. Let's say like if I was you, okay, yeah, in your situation. So what I'm going to do it now, like going hardcore is not an option for me, at least at this point of time. So what I need to do it is like I can balance out like all this, the spiritual practices. Okay, so whatever you are doing like a kriyas and everything, like I can do them like even before like everybody wakes up. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. Just like Kritika has said, that is one aspect of it. But the main thing is like to be available to the grace of Sadguru for 24 hours, isn't it? Yes, yeah. That has to be there. So for that one, like there are certain processes, like you can, for example, like you have been to the ashram, like in the ashram, like yoga, Yogeswara chant is going on all the time. Yes, yeah. You can keep that going, or you can do like even Sadguru has like the volunteers, like they chant like Brahmananda Swarupa while they are doing volunteering at the ashram. Also, you can even chant yourself or like play that in the background whenever possible and everything. And in the evening, like 6:20, like you can include your family members. Yeah. You, your wife, and your child can like sit together for Brahmananda Swarupa chant. This kind of thing, like you can include them and everything. And like the first thing what you need to do it is like there is always power struggle, but like when they are there to ask you at the moment, like asking certain kind of help, like I know like sometimes like it's a burdensome, like you are doing so many things, but sometimes like it's a kind of a offering also. It's a privilege because tomorrow, like let's say you have a son or a daughter, I do not know, but once they move out from your house, like you'll not have that privilege, isn't it, to be able to see them in that way. It's a good thing. So you can make use of that as a spiritual process also, yeah. So offering is the one you earn.
Okay.
Yeah, you can read this book called like a Joy 24/7. Have you read that book from Sadhguru?
Which one?
Joy 24/7.
Joy at 24/7. Okay.
Yeah. That is actually like a really nice book. Like I didn't even understood that one because like I was doing only meditation and everything also, and I was doing my Shambhavi once, and like there was a bell in the in the flat. Okay, so I became like I was so angry at those people, like they broke my sadhana. But slowly, like I realized that even if you are doing the greatest of meditation or something, like if you are not doing as a offering or something, it will not yield result. It's just like that, because yoga basically means like everything should be in the same direction, isn't it?
And what is the other book you said, Rana?
Yeah, Mastery by George Leonard. Yeah, Mastery.
Mastery.
Yeah, that's the book.
Mastery by George
Leonard.
Leonard.
Yeah, you read that book, Anand. So like there are many. The only issue we have is like not to have a clarity about life, and it takes like a lot of crash landings. Yeah, so. Yeah, one way. Yeah, if you want to become like a hardcore spiritual person or something, like the best way is to like keep your life simple as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Namaskaram, Revantana. Revantana also joined in just now.
Thank you.
Namaskaram, Anna. How are you, Anna?
Yeah, we're doing great, Anna. So how's your sadhana going on, Anna?
Yeah, good, Anna. Last October only, I've taken Angamardana, Anna. And
Wow.
Good, Anna.
Wow, that's really good.
And
Yeah.
Angamardana is literally very intense, Anna, because it's like almost like going to gym only. That is what I felt when
Yeah.
doing Angamardana. And I thought, hey, like there is no need of going to gym also, even if one is doing Angamardana regularly.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Angamardana is very, very powerful. Yeah, I think Kritika also did it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until then, I didn't know the importance of food. Like after, like during the Mandala period, I used to shiver in between Angamardana because that's when I realized I was not taking enough healthy food. So Angamardana also made me take good food.
Yeah.
And no one told me that before I did Angamardana.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. It's funny.
Yeah, if you want to add your practices, yeah, like you can do the practices entire day also. So, in my personal experience, like I've actually like pushed my practices up to like a 10 hours also, like at one time. But it's very difficult to sustain. That's how it becomes.
I just hope now you don't commit some Jiva Samadhi.
No, we
I
do not know.
still
Like
want to
that.
see you
That is a
alive.
yeah. That may not happen. Like that is the goal actually. So
Is it?
that is
I was
the.
hoping it should not be for you.
I don't have that much of energy. Like if I can borrow like the Sadhguru's energy, then yeah, 100%. That is possible. But like if you have done like advanced practices or something, like you can actually reach the threshold between like life and death. That I can guarantee you.
Sorry, what? Come again?
Advanced practice.
Yeah, advanced practices, and like if you have enough energy in your system, yeah, ojas, yeah, so then you can actually live in the like reach the threshold of like life and death easily every day. It's
And
possible.
I heard
It's
one
it's
more
it's
thing
a
that
really yes or no? You're saying something.
Sadhguru is not teaching anymore how to leave their own body. Is it true? Or is there a way?
See, okay, like I don't think like I should be saying this. Like I know like most of you, I do not know. Sudhava is speaking about this. So what actually happens is this is like spiritual practices and spiritual processes and everything. There are like two ways. Okay, one way is basically like that does not actually involve. You can say like too much control over your life energies. Okay, for example, if you follow the way of the Bhakti Yoga, Kriya Yoga, not the Kriya Yoga, but like a Karma Yoga and Gnana Yoga. So Gnana Yoga, like even if you know, you don't have much of a power over like how to live your body and everything. At least in my understanding. Okay, and if you are a pure Karma Yogi, then like you are again limited. Okay. If you are the Bhakti Yogi, like you can leave your body, just like again like just like Mahaviji did. Again, like I should not be speaking all this kind of stuff again, but it's a necessity. Okay, so since you have already asked, so but what Sadhguru has mentioned is like even if you leave the body with like Bhakti Yoga, since you are making use of the emotion. Okay, so just by leaving the body, like it's not completely over immediately. It will take certain time. It will be your last birth, but like even after you have become disembodied, like it will take certain period of time before it dissolve by itself. Okay, there is certain kind of momentum. But what you refer as a Kriya Yoga and everything, it's if you have read about like what the Kriya Yoga is, like if you go to the Isha Foundation and everything in the Isha website, it clearly mentions you that like you are not only looking for the creation, about the like liberation, seeking liberation, but also to know the mechanics of life. Makes sense? Huh?
Yeah.
So when you understand the mechanics of life, like you can easily like dismantle itself. And if you take like advanced processes, practices, processes, and everything, there are many different ways you can live the body. Okay, one way is like your life become very feeble. Let's say we are not going to die because of this. Like I know that like we're not going to fail. For example, like if conscious planet was not there, we would all like die miserable death because of famine, war, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah. So if you die like that way, then like you'll become a ghost, which is known as a disembodied body. So Mahasamadhi is not possible in that case, but like if you are doing like advanced practices, I'm not going to name here, like let's not use it. Once you go into the advanced practices, you'll get used to that one. So one way is to like leave the body in awareness. That is one way to do it. Like if you cannot leave the body with Mahasamadhi, okay, that is also Mahasamadhi, but this thing is like the life has become feeble. When you know you are going to die, you just live in awareness. Yeah, that is the end game. That is one way. If you die in the sleep, that's a different aspect.
Yeah, so many of my cousins, grandma and everybody have died in sleep.
No, but like that is what I'm saying. That is what it is. But like they will come back with their another lot of prarabdha, isn't it? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is different.
And Anna,
Yeah.
I have a doctor friend who works in ICU.
Yeah.
When he see people dying almost every day.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was saying one thing, what they do, even they cannot do anything,
Mm-hmm.
they put them on sedation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, they will eventually pass out in the sedation only.
Yeah.
Okay. So because nothing else can be done. I mean.
No, that is like the see. This is why the spiritual. There's, yeah, I know.
End up in ICU.
Yeah.
We won't have that choice of whether we are
I'll give you like a very good example, Anna. Like if you understand, like I'm actually like we had discussion. Kritika Akka had already possibly like she remembers. So basically, like the answer is like people say, how to live the life in on awareness, isn't it? Yes, that is the first question. Yes, yeah. What you call as an awareness at the moment, let's say like there are two ways of awareness, like people think, but awareness and then the alertness, these are completely different things. Okay, at the moment, you might be referring the alertness as the awareness. Makes sense? Huh? For example, if you think that like what is happening around me, that is not awareness, that is alertness.
That's alertness.
Yeah, because like you are trying to trying to gather information around you. Yes, yeah. So what we know now the awareness is like Sadhguru has mentioned about like if you see like the mind actually has got like four aspects, yeah, and the fourth aspect is known as the chitta. Yes, yeah, and this is the consciousness, and this is on 24/7, even if you are aware or not. Makes sense? Yeah? So the entire process of meditation and like a yoga and everything is basically to access that dimension of chitta. Makes sense? Yeah? So once you have access to that dimension, and if you are meditative 24/7, then even if you are dying asleep, like you are liberated. And that is possible by attending the advanced programs.
So advanced program is PSP Shunya.
Yeah, do everything. Yeah, do everything. Like do everything. That's what I'm saying.
No, these are the only three, right? That's what I'm saying. And Guru Puja, if I remember on the website, whatever I saw.
Yeah, I'm not going to recommend like what is what. I am just saying like advanced program.
No, I will do everything, but I'm asking you only these four, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've seen on the.
We have heard. That's it. We don't know what else is there.
But Ramana knows better than this what else is there, but he is not telling us. That's fine.
No, like it's not necessary. For example, like see, if you want to eat something, let's say like there is like a shop. Okay, yeah. Should I tell you like what is over there? You go over there and then you eat whatever you like and whatever you can handle for now, isn't it? Yes, yeah. So that's what it is all about. Yeah. If you are like hardcore, let's say like if you think okay, I can die tomorrow morning. If you think okay, what you are going to do? Are you going to attend all these programs? Not possible, isn't it?
Correct.
Not possible, isn't it?
Not possible.
But not possible because like how you are going to attend all this like a 4 days, 8 days program in like a one night. But what I'm saying is like that is a possibility. So you are not going to leave any stone unturned. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
So coming back to like living the body and everything, what is actually happening is like I gave the example of learning to ride a bicycle. Okay. So for example, at the moment, initially like when you are riding a bicycle, like it's very difficult, isn't it? Yes, you fall down and everything. But once you learn how to ride a bicycle, do you need to think about how to ride a bicycle?
Mm.
But what you need to do, you just need to pedal, isn't it? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So meditation or spiritual process is just initially you start with 21 minutes or 12 minutes if you are starting with Isha Kriya or something like that. Then gradually like you increase that, and like once you become meditative 24 hours, then you don't need to do anything. Like a part of you is meditating all the time.
Okay.
So if you are in that state, like if the death comes, like you'll just go like without any issue. That's what it is. But not everybody is capable of that one. So that's why Sadhguru says that like when time comes, like you will take care of that. If you are committed and like if you have actually done it, but like you should not take everything as guarantee.
Okay.
See, like only reason, like even though like he says everything, like why you don't want to live the enlightened life, isn't it? Yes, yeah, yes or no? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. For example, like you might have heard like in the past that like everybody who died has become like the gone to the heaven, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. But if you go and ask that like a priest, like who does that all this cremation, even he does not know. See, like why like self-realization is a very very tricky stuff and everything. Why even Guru, even he wants to liberate, like it's very tricky and everything. If you have watched lots of videos, like there are many different variations. That's why like Sadhguru says that like he wants to keep people confused one thing. And whenever there is a certain kind of things, like there are many things, even though I know like most of the things through experience as well as like clarity and reading stuff and everything, even though like there are a lot of things and they're conflicting, but like they are not wrong or right or anything. They all hold true actually. And this is the nature of reality actually, because there is no such thing as absolutely right or wrong or anything. It sounds like a crazy and like wacky and everything. That's why like when we call the spiritual process, it's beyond physicality and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, so like if you have like if you want to leave the body and everything, then like you need to have a lot of energy, but that will require, and once you explore all the dimensions, then like you will know. Yeah. And actually like we missed out a little bit part, like the umbilical cord I was talking about in the initial stuff, the prana that is connected over there. So once you explore the other dimensions and everything, like you finally realize, this is where like a Sadhguru has mentioned, there is something known as the Kurma Nadi. How many of you have heard about it?
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah. So if you do the advanced programs and everything, you may have the possibility to find the Kurma Nadi. So what Sadhguru has mentioned is if you follow the Kurma Nadi, then you will find a point where your life and your breath is connected, where the breath actually holds the body. So the main thing is you just dive in, and when the times come, you just unplug that one. That's it. It's just like unplugging from the matrix. See, there are so many different ways.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is like, do you just want to take this information as entertainment or like information, or you want to use this as a possibility? That's completely up to you all. So a tremendous amount of sadhana is required. It's not possible actually. I have been doing like a sadhana like rigorously and everything. I've experienced so many things and I'm able to sustain that also, but like there are certain limitations also still. I'm moving towards that one like gradually. Someday, yeah.
Okay.
The day like you feel that okay, I've seen all and done all and everything, then just like Sadhguru says that like coming back, I've come back many times just to consecrate the Dhammalinga, but it does not make sense for me to come back again and again. That's what he said. And that's why like he is going all out to the world. He wants to like try to reach out as many people as he can, because that is the total number of people he can reach out, isn't it? Even he comes back million times. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the like a total number of people like you can reach out. So I think like within the just because of this like a conscious planet, I think we can have a like a huge footprint, because it's going to cover I think like around I think like 18 or 25 nations. I do not know the exact figure, but you will be riding the bike directly from London all the way through all these countries, and then reaching to the Isha Yoga Center. So yeah, this is a like so this is what it is, Anna. So is the trick and everything. So there are many different ways. You don't need to worry about all these things. If you just give into the process and everything, if you bloom. But why you are like actually coming to ask me all these things is because the only reason this is because like I just want to share you like more possibilities. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, all the tools are already available from Isha, from Sadhguru and everything. And the entire thing, like whatever sadhana you are doing, is nothing but to create the access for Sadhguru. Because you cannot do it on your own. Like even if you can do it on your own, like it's very difficult to get lost. It can take like many lifetimes, or it may not ever happen. But if you create a certain access, like he can do it for you. So you don't need to worry about that. If you can become enlightened, that's really good. If you become self-realized, that's even fantastic and everything. Yeah. And I'll tell you like genuinely like there are like lots of gurus, like people share like lots of posts from other enlightened masters in the past also. Even from like Isha meditators, that is actually not the correct approach if people ask me. Because there has no one as capable as like a Sadhguru, I think, till in the humanity. Yeah. Possibly like Agastya Muni, and then the Buddha comes closer. Yeah. Other
But
than
those
that,
times as they didn't have any tools to reach the entire world.
no. Even
I
if
feel it's in not just the tools. It's not intense as Isha.
no, intensity is
Like
intensity is there, but like the coverage was not like that. So
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Yeah.
The technology was not there. Maybe that's the reason.
No,
Otherwise-
even if not only about the technology, but like their approach was completely different. Even Sadhguru also like mentioned that like he felt in his previous lives, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that's what-
exactly.
even if your intention is there, like the approach is there. That's why like if you look how Sadhguru looks like during the Dhanalinga consecration and after that, like he's completely different.
Yeah.
His personality is completely different. He said like even he changed his food habit also. So.
Anyway, I am happy that in Bangalore a center is opening up.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
great
it's
opportunity
awesome.
for you. Like this is a great opportunity for each of you to, attend the consecration of Adi Yogi as well as the Linga Bhairavi. So
Yeah,
you guys are
exactly,
blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the karma allows, like I will also come there.
Please come.
At least we will have a chance to see you.
See you. Yeah.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
No, you are saying.
It's Jan 17th, I guess, right? I think you can still come, Anna. You should
No.
come.
That is not the consecration. That is like a laying foundation only.
Flying stone, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy
So
stuff.
when is the consecration? Like after 2-3 years? Or?
No, they will build the like Adi Yogi, and then after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is not like the 7 chakra consecration as what they have done.
That like a
before.
Sadhguru says that like nobody has been able to do it till now. So Sadhguru is the first person, and he says that like he cannot do the second one.